Hello? 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 Is there something wrong? Why is this not working? Hey, Dope Show, are you on? Is that you? Huh. Some reason. Do. Hey, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let me do a quick check to see. Because I don't think I don't. Hello, 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 hello. Um. Well, this is supposed to go live in 1 minute. Okay, okay. We're good. All right. So this video I originally did. If you see my Mikasa video, or yes, why Mikasa is a well-villain character. If you saw that video, then you will know that I said that it was also the Ymir video, which is true because it was the Ymir video. Um, problem is that it got deleted. So I have to reshoot this one because the Ymir video is probably my most important video in in the in my channel. Probably most important video I'm going to make in my channel. And the reason I say that is because this has been a highly divisive plot device, but it's also very important to understand why it's like that. Why Ymir is the way that Ymir is. So I'm going to explain to you guys how how her character is good, how it's written good, how her love is justified, reasonable, and it is good for the messaging of the story and how it would have created plot holes had any other course of action been taken. Right? So that's what we're going to be discussing today. And so let's start out. Why am I saying that her love affair with King Fritz was good? Here's why. So she is supposed to parallel Mikasa, right? This is why I was combining to Mikasa video. She's supposed to parallel Mikasa. So Mikasa has to be a simp for Eren throughout the entirety. And I put simp in quotes, not because she's not a simp, but because I don't like using that word. It's such a juvenile word. I wish I could have a better word for it, but that's the best word I can use for now. So she's such a simp for Eren for the entirety of the show, by design, of course, because she had to parallel Ymir. She had to parallel Ymir because when Mikasa does the right thing and kills Eren to stop the rumbling, that gives Ymir the inspiration and hope she needs to then kill. Not to kill, but to get rid of the Titans, right? So that's why I explained in the last video. It's actually probably deleted, but I explained in the last video that that's why Mikasa is a well-running character, because she's actually more. She's not supposed to have character development. She's supposed to be more of a plot device, right? In a way, she's supposed to bring the story to its conclusion. Anyway, so with that in mind, we can look at this and we can say, had Ymir not loved King Fritz, and let's say that she loves her children, for example, that was the ANR remix, that she didn't love King Fritz, she loved her kids instead, which would have created a glaring plot hole right off the bat, which would be, why isn't there 3 royal families then? because there's only one royal family because it comes from the king, right? Which means there'd be 3 royal families, which means there'd be who know how many eligible members for the founder, right? Because there's 3. So, and because you got the cousins, the sons and daughters and the wives; those are eligible members from just that one royal family, right? But imagine there's 3 royal families, right? Then it's a giant. That's a giant pool of people who have access to the founder's power and who cannot have their memories erased. So that's the first plot hole. Second plot hole, the second problem I have with that is that it does not work with the themes. Okay? Had she loved her children instead of loving the king romantically, that would have been a problem because Mikasa killing Eren would have not have been parallel to Ymir relinquishing the Titans. It wouldn't have been. Now again, I think I cleared this up in my other video, but just in case I didn't, I want to say this. I want to make it incredibly clear that Eren could not have just asked Ymir Fritz to get rid of the Titans. She would have said no. She would have said no. Because he's not of royal blood. So you cannot tell her she would not listen to him. Because she loved the king, she was going to keep the Titans around. So that is why he has to go through with the rumbling and Mikasa kills him. And of course, Mikasa even defended him killing innocent people in Liberio. So it stands to reason that him doing the rumbling as a legitimate threat would make it so that's enough of a motivator for Mikasa to kill him. Because beforehand it wasn't. He killed a bunch of innocent people in Liberio, and it wasn't. Not only did she not kill him, but she also defended him and made sure he made it out alive. And even while the rumbling was happening, she still was not going to kill him. Another thing I want to note is that once Armin comes to terms with killing him, he gets swallowed by a pig in 135. Yep, he is like, you know what? This is not going to work. I'm going to have to kill him all the way. Just had a rumbling. And then he gets swallowed up by a pig. Right. That's it. It's very interesting. Another thing is that a foreshadow. It's foreshadowed back in 122. People keep saying that, oh, the same Isayama who wrote 121, 122 is not the same Isayama who wrote 139. That's ridiculous because there's actually a foreshadow of this where she looks at the 2 aliens kissing. And we initially think that this is just an innocuous detail, but it actually was showing her longing for love. And she finds that love, for whatever reason, in the king. Now, another thing that I mentioned in my last video, which is very, very relevant to this video, or to the situation that we're in, is back in the Civil War, you had slaves saying that they would want to fight on the side of the Confederacy. I know, right? You're shocked. Like, that's wild. Why do you want to do that? Not only that wild shock to your system that there were actually slaves, not black people, but slaves who want to fight for the Confederacy. They said they want to die and then serve them in heaven. Sound familiar? This is real life. This is not some sort of crazy thing that Isayama invented. This is real life. It happens all the time. And I'm actually of the personal belief that this is not indeed Stockholm Syndrome. It could very well be, but I don't think it is. And I don't think it is because does it parallel? It could still work, but it doesn't parallel Mikasa as much because Mikasa doesn't have Stockholm Syndrome. Obviously, or maybe she does. She doesn't, but so it parallels her more. So that's why I'm of the personal belief that she does not suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, but instead she is just going into the relationship unguarded, which should be guarded would be not going in there at all, because I mentioned in the deleted video that it actually stands to reason that it is reasonable for any person to love any other person, right? Because remember, God loves everybody. He loves the pure soul down to the most evil person. He loved Adolf Hitler just as much as he loves you. He loves Joseph Stalin just as much as he loves you. He loved Mao Zedong as much as he loves you. So on and so forth. Serial killers. I mean, I think Jeffrey Dahmer actually uh, repented or converted while he's in prison, and he is probably with Jesus right now. But so you have to understand that there's lovable qualities in everybody. So it stands to reason that she could perceive those and then love him. The problem was that she didn't love him with a guarded heart. She went in full swing and got manipulated by him because the feeling was not mutual. So she went in unprotected. I bring up kids for this one. It's about kids, where I said, if there's parents in the audience, you love your kids, right? They could be the most disgusting creatures ever, and you probably don't even know what I'm talking about if you do have a disgusting kid. And B, if you do know, you don't care. You still love them unconditionally, right? Because as I said in my last video, and as I said to many people, um, what the LGBTQ community says, love is love. There's no making someone unlove somebody, right? I remember I was talking to this girl who went through an ugly divorce, where it was completely the guy's fault. Nothing new, but I just want to say that for the context, it's completely the guy's fault, not her fault at all. And what's relevant about that one is that she was actually going to stay had she not had a strong support system. She was going to stay in that bad relationship had she not had the support system that she had. Remember, not only does Ymir have her tongue cut off and cannot speak to anyone, she is immediately blamed. She literally has the finger pointed at her by everyone in the vicinity when the pigs go out. So obviously she has no friend, she has no support system. They're all fending for themselves. And actually, this just on a quick side note, if you saw my last video about who the real villain was, those people, I don't think those people were as evil as you thought they were because of the situation that they were in. Of course, it's very disgusting to blame a little girl for the pigs going out, but they were gonna get killed as well. They were in a bad situation. While self-preservation over a little girl is sort of slimy, we also know if their families were going to be threatened as well. We know that Ymir just got killed herself and not her family because she had no family, but if she did have a family, we don't know what happened to her. But again, Carl killed her parents, so anyway, I'm just saying this goes on with my video about how the Marleyans aren't as bad as I think they are, and how the heads of state are worse than the average Marleyan. But anyway, let's continue. So everyone points a finger at her. She has no friends, she has no allies, she can't even talk. She has no strong support system. So obviously, she is going to go in to this relationship. She's going to stay in this relationship. The person that I'm telling you about, the real woman, is one of the strongest women that I know. And if you met her, she'd be the strongest woman that you ever knew. And so, but she was still going to stay in the relationship. She didn't have a strong support system, right? So, and again, this happens all the time. Girls have toxic relationships all the time. And anyway, but I bring this up to say, I was talking about the divorce, and I was talking about the man in a negative way, and she was like, "You shouldn't talk about him like that. I love him. Like, you love him. What is wrong with you? Why would you love that thing?" And then I thought about it. Well, she explained why, but then I thought about it after. I'm like, you know what? That was foolish of me. Of course, she still loves him. It's not like she's gonna not love him anymore. If she loved him, she's going to love him. Period. You don't just unlove somebody. That's ridiculous. If you go to a point where you don't love them anymore, then you never love them to begin with. And of course, this person does have lovable qualities and is maybe not worthy of love, but it is justifiable and reasonable that someone should love this man because again, God loves him and God blesses him daily. So I also brought up Solomon in my last video about how if you guys know anything about Israelite history, you know how bad Solomon was. He worshipped multiple gods. After God already blessed him, he had a bunch of women. He was basically single-handedly responsible for the destruction of Israel after. But every time Jesus mentions him in the New Testament, it's always in a positive way. He really loved him. I also brought up Cain. Cain, this big evil guy, right? But as we already know, as a general principle, God obviously loves Cain, and he's talking about his brother, and he protects him. So he murders his brother, and he's like, "I'm going to be murdered myself." Most would think that's a just and reasonable punishment, but God decides, "I'll make sure no one hurts you. And if they hurt you, I will kill them." He's saying this to a murderer, not just any murderer, but a murderer who killed his own brother. But he says, "I will protect you and avenge your blood." He loved him. It says that children are a blessing from the Lord. He gave him not only a city, not only a wife, but he also gave him a kid. He loved him. But here's the thing about Cain: he's in hell. Now I'm not going to go into why we know he's in hell, but let's just say for the sake of argument, he's in hell. He's in hell. He's most likely in hell, but that's because God. This is going to be something weird, but God guarded his heart against Cain. He didn't let his love for Cain cloud his judgment. He's still in hell, right? And if you have a kid, you're still going to punish your kid even though you love him. You see, you're not going to say, "Oh, well, he can do whatever he wants because I love him." You're going to guard your heart and go into that. And if you're a good parent, you're going to purposely cause turmoil in their relationship because you love the kid and because you want what's best for him and because you want what's best for the world. And again, if you're a woman, if you love a man, and if you ever left a man who you loved but you couldn't be with, you know what I'm talking about. Or maybe you're just in denial. But anyway, so this is again, but I'm talking about incredibly complex stuff that is highly relevant to the real world, and that is why I think the story is so incredible. And this was on a plot twist. This was on a plot twist. Not even to mention the whole Mikasa and Eren dynamic, which is also highly relevant, highly applicable, and very good messaging. We're talking about a plot twist in the literal last chapter that has so much depth and real world application, and it's actually incredibly inspiring if you let it be inspiring. Then, this is all on a emotional messaging level. Why it's good that Ymir Fritz loved King Fritz. So I already established how it's reasonable that she loved him, or that she's allowed to love him, and it's not stupid that she loved him. Two, I also established how she should have treated that love and how it's inspiring for women all over the place, and for people in general, particularly for women, how it's inspiring for them, and how it's a great applicable message. But now I'm going to move away from the emotional and messaging part of it, which I already explained why the messaging and emotional aspect is so good with her loving King Fritz. Now I'm going to go more in depth. Well, actually, I already did, but I'm just going to recap again how this would have affected the plot. Had Ymir Fritz not loved the king, Mikasa killing Eren would have accomplished nothing. Again, he could not have just gone to her and said, "Get rid of the Titans." He had to have Mikasa kill him. Mikasa had to kill him in order for this to work. Okay? Because she created the paths to free herself. She was finding Mikasa. She was in Mikasa's head constantly. She knew how Mikasa felt. Right? Mikasa also guarded her heart. And that's the phrase I'm going to use. Because Mikasa, even though she loved Eren with all of her heart, and again, Ymir knew this, which is why she was in her head the entire time, and which is why she got rid of the Titans once Mikasa killed him, and when she kissed him, that's when she smiled. But she, where was I going with that? So she kills him, and then Mikasa, even though she loved Eren with all of her heart, went against her love and her emotional instincts and killed him anyway for the good of humanity. And that is why Ymir Fritz got rid of the Titans, because even though she loved Karl Fritz, and again, another thing, for all you Eren Mikasa shippers, Eren has approximately killed 800 million people. And that's a low estimate. If you look around, people are saying billions of people. He killed billions of people, which I don't believe he killed billions of people. But he at least killed 800 million people. He killed millions and millions and millions of people, including children. Mostly innocent people. He killed mostly innocent people who had nothing to do with anything, who didn't do a thing to him. And Mikasa still loved him and actually defended him. As I said before, she defended a child killer in Lemuria. No, I'm almost saying simplifying that because she was pissed off with him and he went to jail and he got kicked and she. But fact of the matter is, she went and she killed people so that Aaron could act on pretty much impunity for killing children. So if you're going to say what Carl Fritz did disqualifies him from being loved, then I guess Aaron also disqualifies himself, unless you're Jaegers, in which case you believe Aaron did nothing wrong or Aaron's actions were incredibly justified, in which case the kings were not justified or reasonable. But if you don't think that if you do think that Aaron's an evil person for doing that, then you're an Aaron Mikasa shipper. You're going to have to give up one or the other. Either Mikasa shouldn't love Aaron, and Carl and Ymir shouldn't love Carl, or Carl can love Ymir. Ymir can love Carl, and Mikasa can love Aaron. It's one or the other. So again, she loves him. And even though she loves King Fritz, she still guards her heart and does the right thing. She goes against his wishes and she gets rid of the Titans like she should have done in the first place. And she frees herself. And all she needed is just Mikasa to do that. That's why she's smiling when she kisses him. She doesn't smile. Again, I'm sure most of you are rolling your eyes right now because, again, I've actually seen people who have understood this. And I'm sure most of you are rolling your eyes like, obviously, Captain, of course, this is what's happening. I just want to explain to people. I really want to get in depth. I really want to explain to people why this writing is excellent, why it's superb, and why it is a good choice to have Ymir love King Fritz. But anyway, she's not smiling after Aaron gets killed. Notice. She doesn't smile after Aaron gets killed. She smiles after Mikasa kisses his head. That's when she smiles. Because she's saying she killed this guy, but she actually loved him when she was doing this. And that's when she smiles. And that's when the power titans were gone from this world. Now, while we're still talking about Ymir, while we were still talking about Ymir and Mikasa and Aaron and love, I do want to bring up something. People are angry and whining and tearing their clothes and getting the ashes from the wood stove and eating it in despair over a bunch of lines. I'm actually going to shoot a video about, but one of the lines was, "I don't know, only Ymir knows." Aaron says this to Armin in 139. People are tearing their eyes out and crying in pain and despair, yelling out to the abyss about how bad of a line it was. I just want to make it crystal clear how any other thing that Aaron would have said would have been completely stupid. You ready? He goes to her and Marley. He says, "What am I to you?" She says, "We're family." He's like, "Dang it. She doesn't love me like I love her. She just thinks of me as a friend." All right, well, rumbling it is. So he is not aware. He's not aware of her love for him. He doesn't know. He hasn't known the entire time. That's like the big thing that he didn't know. And then it gets proven. Because, again, we know in 138, had he known he loved her, had he known she loved him romantically, he would have gone off to the woods with her. Because, again, you should prioritize your wife over your countrymen. 100%. And your friends. 100%. Better you destroy 5 friendly relationships than even damage severely your relationship with your wife or spouse. So he would have left everybody to go live alone with Mikasa in the woods had he known that it was a romantic love. But he didn't know, and he thought of them all as equals, so he killed everyone and did the rumbling. Okay? Had he had said to Armin, listen, Armin, the reason why the Titans are going to be gone, or what reason why that Mikasa's main character, the reason why Ymir's been looking for Mikasa is because Mikasa loves me with all her heart. She loves King Fritz with all her heart. She wants to do the right thing. Mikasa wants to do the right thing. So when she kills me, that's going to give Ymir hope to get rid of the Titans. It's going to inspire Ymir. Had he said that would have created a massive plot hole. Again, I'm talking capital P plot hole. I'm talking about retroactively destroying the entire story. And I'm not saying it's like these idiots are saying about how Aaron got assassinated. I'm talking about he would have actually destroyed it. I'm about to give you solid, irrefutable proof. Because again, had he had known that all of the rumbling nonsense would have been completely destroyed. Because again, he wants to just be with Mikasa. So had he had known about her love for him, this entire thing would have been destroyed. And again, Isayama is assuming that your room temperature is above that your IQ is above room temperature. So he assumes, hey, they can probably put two and two together. I'm sure they can figure out why. How much of an idiot do you have to be? No, seriously, how I can't say this politely. I'm gonna have to go full freaking. Listen, how much of a fool and a petulant child do you have to be to scream and cry and moan and rage about that line when it's incredibly obvious why? And Aaron should not know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know Mikasa loves him. How would he know? How would he know? How would he know? All he knows is that, oh, look, this the slave girl loves the king. I don't know why. I don't know why Mikasa. Only Ymir knows. No, you know. You know. Aaron doesn't know, but you know. You know. You know why. You know why. If you again, this again, much you're probably rolling your eyes right now because again, I've seen a lot of people who actually get it. They actually get it. They actually know what happened. But for those of you who don't know and are why I'm at the line, man, you gotta chill out and check yourself. Because he doesn't know. He doesn't know about Mikasa loving him. So how would he have any context? You know why Mikasa killing him. Made so the Titans disappeared, and you know and you know why Ymir was in Mikasa's head this entire time, and you know why the Titans were created. You know that because you're coming at this. You're coming at this from an outside perspective. Aaron has no freaking clue. And you know that when she said we're family, she was lying. You know that. Aaron does not know that. So Isayama doesn't need, you're not a baby. Isayama doesn't need to spell out for you. He doesn't say, footnote. I do know why. That was not a way for him to escape his own plot. Ridiculous. He had this quick sentence turned to a full second part of the video. He had this plan from the beginning. He had because he had his Aaron's decapitated point of view. He had the I keep saying praying mantis. Oh, it is praying. Yeah, he had the praying mantis. He had the headaches. He knew why. It wasn't him to escape a plot hole. No, of course not. Isayama knew what he was doing, and he assumed that your IQ was above room temperature, and he assumed that you knew what was happening. Again, it's incredibly obvious. So again, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. Again, if you have negative comments, feel free to post them down below. Since I'm a small channel, I will be responding to all of them, and you can give me a video idea. And if you want to, maybe if you want to call on, I might have to figure that out. If you want to call on, yeah. But that's definitely open. You can call on if you want to. You can make a comment if you want to. Both negative and positive are welcome. Videos are welcome. If I made your arguments better for these people, these ending haters, please let me know because I really want to make sure that Isayama's name is not being dragged through the mud. I think his name is no, that's a football player, but someone Fitzgerald, the person who wrote. Come on, what's the name of that story? What's the name? Come on, I'll get it eventually. The Great Gatsby, yeah. The Great Gatsby. He was The Great Gatsby. He thought his work was a failure because the critics thing was bad, and then he was very sad about it, and then he died thinking it was a failure, not knowing how incredible his work actually was. And that is an incredibly sad tale, and that is a tale that we should not repeat, especially since Kodansha and Betsu Showa and Jump screwed Isayama over. Isayama is an incredible man. He's an incredible genius. He knows what he's doing. His story is inspiring a whole bunch of fronts. I mean, just within those 3 chapters, 137, 138, 139, you have so much in-depth, rich, applicable stuff that you can apply to your life. And it's brilliant. So I want to make sure you see my things that get dragged through the mud. And I hope this did it for you. I hope this did it for him. Anyway, this has been Beluga the Jaegers, and I'll see you in the next video.